Today on First Talk ESPN, the spotlight was on the Los Angeles Lakers and the recent moves shaking up the NBA landscape. The host kicked things off by highlighting how everything seems to be falling into place for the team, especially with some fresh insider info about Rob Pelinka's plans moving forward. Right away, the focus turned to a potential buyout market signing, which has fans buzzing with anticipation. The show broke down a detailed report from Jake Weinbach, pointing out the situation with the Washington Wizards. Washington is trying to open up more playing time for their young prospects, which could put veterans like Chris Middleton, CJ McCollum, and Marcus Smart on the buyout block. On top of that, the Wizards are dealing with a roster crunch after adding Cam Whitmore, so more roster moves are expected before training camp. Corey Kispert was also mentioned as a trade candidate, but the main focus today was on Marcus Smart. Commentators revisited Shams Charania's recent update. Whitmore was acquired by the Wizards in exchange for 2 second-round picks, a move that caught many off guard since the Lakers were reportedly interested in him. Shortly after, Ralph Mason confirmed that Marcus Smart was waived by Washington and could be picked up by the Lakers using their mid-level exception, opening up some intriguing possibilities to strengthen the roster. From the Wizards' perspective, there just isn't enough room for all the veterans on the roster, with Middleton and Smart being the most likely buyout candidates. That sparked a lot of buzz about Smart potentially landing in Los Angeles. The hosts reminded viewers that back in June, the Lakers were favorites to acquire Smart through a trade, but now, with this buyout window, everything seems to be lining up for the Lakers to add him without giving up assets. They also pointed out that Pelinka's patience this offseason makes sense. The Lakers simply didn't have the 2 second-round picks to match Houston's asking price for Whitmore, who valued those picks highly. So, focusing on buyout market pickups, especially someone like Smart, fits perfectly with their current strategy. The panel also highlighted that less than a month ago, the Lakers were near the top of the list of teams trying to land Smart. But trading for him was always a tougher sell since he's still an effective, well-respected defender. The discussion opened up to fan opinions on how much Smart can still contribute, revisiting his time with the Wizards, Grizzlies, and Celtics, and praising his gritty, competitive style. Despite not being in his prime, Smart's tough defense and solid playmaking abilities were emphasized as a great fit for the Lakers' current roster. They also talked about the switch in the front court, with DeAndre Ayton replacing Jared Vanderbilt, showing that the Lakers are actively searching for ways to bolster their squad. The conversation circled back to the need for better bench depth and more defensive intensity. Several fan tweets and comments were shared during the show, with many suggesting the Lakers go after Smart for defense and CJ McCollum for shooting and scoring off the bench. However, the host expressed some skepticism about McCollum, noting that if the goal is to boost bench scoring through the buyout market, it might be smarter to hold out for someone like Bradley Beal in the long run. Continuing the discussion, the hosts expressed a clear preference for Bradley Beal over CJ McCollum when it comes to adding scoring through the buyout market. Even though Beal's time with the Suns didn't quite meet expectations, the panel pointed out that he was actually quite efficient and consistent overall, just didn't live up to that massive $55 million contract. On the other hand, Marcus Smart was framed as a perfect fit for what the Lakers need right now. They emphasized that the Lakers are looking for a lockdown defender on the perimeter who can also back up the point guard position, and Smart checks both boxes. Looking back at his numbers from last season with Washington, despite some injury issues, he averaged about 9 points and 2 assists per game. He's never been known as a top-tier facilitator, though his assist numbers peaked during his time in Boston, where he averaged around 6 per game in his last season there. His 2023 stint with Memphis, though brief, showed flashes of elite play, too. Smart's shooting remains effective, highlighted by a 39% three-point shooting percentage with the Wizards, which isn't easy given the overall struggles of that team. The hosts noted a dip in his free throw shooting, but stressed that placing him on a more competitive Lakers squad, alongside stars like Luka Doncic and LeBron James, could elevate his impact significantly. He can serve as a defensive stopper, capable shooter, and occasional facilitator, a versatile role player who won Defensive Player of the Year just a few seasons ago. They acknowledged some skepticism from fans about this potential move. Some suggested that Smart might be washed or past his prime, comments that the hosts pushed back against, especially for those who have closely followed his game. While Smart isn't a playmaker or reliable clutch shooter, he is a specialist defender, someone who can guard multiple positions and bring intensity on that side of the floor. Fans shouldn't expect him to be a go-to scorer in crunch time, but rather a 3-and-D role player who fits well in the Lakers' current offensive system, which boasts plenty of weapons. At 30 years old, Smart is not in his peak years, but injuries and inconsistent team situations have affected his perceived value. The Lakers offering a stable environment could be exactly what he needs to regain some of that lost momentum. The discussion reminded viewers that Smart was traded by Boston to Memphis for 2 first-round picks just a couple of years ago. He was still a highly valuable asset then. Now, the Lakers have a chance to add him potentially on a bargain with their biannual exception, which makes this opportunity even more appealing. The hosts also debated a comparison between Smart and DeAnthony Melton, another potential target. While Melton offers more offensive upside and shooting, Smart brings the tougher defense. Both players have dealt with injuries, but the Lakers may have to choose between the two due to salary cap restrictions, since signing one might block the ability to add the other. Wrapping up this segment, the panel asked fans which player they would pick if they had to choose, Smart or Melton, and encouraged engagement in the comments to hear everyone's take on this key decision facing the Lakers front office this offseason. Before we close out today's Lakers update, the hosts invited viewers to drop a comment sharing their preference between the two impactful players, Marcus Smart or DeAnthony Melton. They wanted to hear which of these two defensive stalwarts fans would rather see join the Lakers roster this offseason. Moving on, the conversation shifted to some fresh commentary that came out earlier today from former Laker Michael Thompson. Thompson expressed strong confidence in DeAndre Ayton's ability to show everyone just how valuable he can be. The panel agreed that the more they reflect on Ayton's signing, the more promising it looks. Thompson praised Ayton as the ideal fit for the Lakers, highlighting how he meshes perfectly with Luka Doncic's style of play, especially in the pick and roll and those high-lob alley-oops. What really stood out was the point that Ayton isn't just your average screen-and-roll big man. He boasts a high ceiling and versatile skill set, including a genuine ability to create his own shot in the post, something that Michael Thompson echoed wholeheartedly. Wrapping things up, the hosts encouraged fans once again to share their thoughts, not only on the Smart vs. Melton debate, but also on Ayton's potential impact. They reminded everyone that this is all about navigating the buyout market rather than trade, which adds an interesting layer to the Lakers' off-season strategy. As always, the hosts thanked the audience for tuning in and supporting the channel, signing off with a big shout-out to the Lakers faithful. That's it for today. Stay tuned for more updates as this off-season continues to unfold.